He believed the fever had burned away his mortal shell. What remained was divine, a vessel for the gods. Or perhaps he was now a god himself. The Senate, once his audience, became his congregation. He would enter their chambers, dressed not as an emperor, but as Jupiter, or Mars, or Venus. One day, he brought his favorite horse, Insiditus, into the Senate house. Draped in purple robes and jewels, the animal stood before the most powerful men in Rome. Caligula announced that Insiditus was not just a horse, he was a priest, a god in waiting. And soon, he would be appointed consul, the highest office in the Republic. The senators sat in silence, their faces pale. They understood the message. He wasn't just mocking them. He was showing them their own reflection. If a horse could be a god, what were they? He no longer sought their fear. He demanded their humiliation. Every tradition, every law, every ritual that held Rome together became a toy in his hands. He declared war on the sea, ordering his legions to march into the waves and attack the water with their swords. They returned with seashells as spoils of war, which he paraded through the city as treasures from his conquest over Neptune. Rome was no longer an empire. It was Caligula's personal stage, and reality was whatever he commanded it to be. Those who questioned it simply disappeared. The smiling boy was gone. In his place was a creature of pure impulse. He held lavish banquets that lasted for days, where the most grotesque fantasies were acted out as entertainment. He built floating palaces on lakes, filled with orchards and bathhouses, monuments to an ego that knew no limits. His spending emptied the treasury. His cruelty emptied the Senate. But he felt nothing. Guilt, empathy, restraint, these were human feelings, and he was no longer human. One evening, during a feast, he suddenly burst into laughter. The guests froze. One of them, a senator, dared to ask what amused him. Caligula looked at the man, his eyes empty of warmth. "I was just thinking," he said softly, "that with a single nod of my head, I could have all of your throats cut." The laughter stopped. The music faded. In the silence, everyone at the table understood. They were not guests, they were hostages. The line between God and monster had dissolved, and the man who sat on the throne was now both. He started to believe that his thoughts could alter the world, that his will was divine law. He built a bridge connecting his palace to the temple of Jupiter, so he could consult with the god privately as an equal. At night, he would stand on that bridge, shouting insults at the heavens, challenging Jupiter to strike him down. The sky remained silent, and with each passing day, his conviction grew stronger. He was untouchable, divine, eternal. He began to demand human sacrifices, not in some distant, barbaric land, but here, in the heart of Rome, in his own palace. He would watch, dispassionately, as men and women were executed for his amusement. Their lives offered up not to the gods, but to him. The city that had once celebrated his arrival now lived in a state of quiet, constant terror. No one was safe, not the rich, not the poor, not the soldiers who once adored him. They had prayed for a savior, but the man who answered their prayers was not sent from the heavens. He was a demon wearing a crown. His family, the last remaining thread to his humanity, was the next to feel his divine wrath. His sisters, whom he had once showered with honors, were now accused of treason and exiled. His closest advisors, men who had known him since childhood, were executed without trial. He was methodically severing every link to his past, erasing every person who remembered the boy named Gaius. Only Caligula, the god, could remain. But there was one man he kept close, a man he seemed to despise, and yet could not bring himself to kill: his uncle, Claudius, a quiet, unassuming man who limped and stammered. Long considered a fool by the imperial family, Caligula forced Claudius to serve him at banquets, to endure endless public ridicule. He would throw scraps of food at him like a dog. He made him the court jester. What no one understood was why. Why keep this constant reminder of his family's imperfections alive? Perhaps he saw Claudius not as a threat, but as a mirror, a reflection of the weakness he had burned out of himself, a living trophy of his own transformation. Or perhaps it was something else, a flicker of a forgotten promise, a debt to a man who, long ago, had shown him a moment of kindness in a world of cruelty. But that was a human thought, and Caligula was beyond that now. His world was one of gods and monsters, and he walked comfortably among both. But even gods can have enemies. And in the shadows of the palace, a new emotion was taking root. It was not fear. It was not obedience. It was something far more dangerous. It was resolve. The men sworn to protect him, the Praetorian Guard, began to whisper. They had watched the hero become a tyrant, the tyrant become a god, and the god become a monster. And they saw what the senators, the people, and even Caligula himself could not, that his divine power was an illusion, and that even gods can bleed. They sent something back that no one was prepared to face. After his illness, Caligula no longer ruled like a man. He ruled like something else. He spoke of destiny, of divine purpose, of himself, not as emperor, but as a god. Temples were altered, rituals rewritten. Rome's faith was redirected, not upward, but toward. Then tragedy struck again. Caligula's beloved sister, Drusilla, died suddenly. The empire froze. He ordered the impossible. No laughter, no music, no joy. Rome mourned under command, not out of love, but fear. Caligula declared her divine. But what burned inside him was not devotion, it was rage, because death had taken what he believed belonged to him. After Drusilla's death, something shifted. Caligula stopped ruling through emotion. He ruled through systems. Names were written down, orders archived, lives categorized. Cruelty became procedure. No swords, no battles, just documents. Rome discovered something terrifying. You don't need violence when fear learns to organize itself. The Senate still met. They still wore their robes. They still spoke. But none of them were free. Every word was measured. Every glance rehearsed. One man refused, a senator who tried to protect his family. By morning, Rome understood the price of defiance. Silence returned. Deeper than ever. Rome did not collapse in fire. It collapsed quietly. Mothers stopped hoping. Fathers stopped speaking. Children learned to lower their eyes. The city still stood, but it no longer breathed freely. Faith became obedience, and obedience became survival. Even gods make mistakes. Caligula mocked his own guards, publicly, relentlessly. One man never forgot, Cassius Chaerea, a soldier humiliated one time too many. Inside the barracks, whispers became plans. Fear began to change sides. January 24th, 41 CE. Caligula walked through a private corridor after another performance. Torches flickered, marble echoed. Then a voice, "Do you remember me, Caesar?" Steel flashed. Once, the god fell, bleeding, silent, human. By nightfall, Caligula's family was gone. the Senate declared his memory cursed. Statues were destroyed. Rome celebrated. Briefly, then they discovered the truth. The ledgers remained. The systems survived. The silence endured. Caligula did not just rule through fear. He taught Rome how to live with it, how to record it, how to obey it. Once cruelty becomes routine, it no longer needs a master, only silence. And that was Caligula's final gift to Rome. Not terror, but acceptance. Rome buried its monster, but it kept his lesson. Because long after Caligula died, the empire still remembered how to kneel. Ready to unwind? Imagine this. The day's hustle is finally over. The lights are low, and you're sinking into your favorite chair. What's missing? That perfect touch to transform your evening into something special. Here, we believe every night deserves a little bit of magic, a moment of pure comfort and calm. We're all about creating that cozy, luxurious feeling, like being wrapped in velvet. From soothing stories to tranquil sounds and relaxing conversations, this is your personal escape. It's your time to decompress, to breathe, and to just be. So, are you ready to settle in? Go on, hit that subscribe button, and let's make every evening a velvet night together. You've earned it. See you soon.